welcome back. This morning we are welcoming in Dr. Aref Badshaw, a cardiologist with the Cardiology and Vascular Associations. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I felt it was super important to get you in here because according to the American Heart Association, women are more likely to die from heart attacks than men. Are we just missing the symptoms? What's going on?
Well, you know, there is this misconception that heart problems only affect men, or men are more likely to have it. I don't think that is the case. Women are at just as much of a risk as men for having a lot of heart issues, primarily because, you know, when you talk about classical signs and symptoms of jaw pain, arm pain, women don't necessarily need to follow that and have those symptoms.
So women wouldn't have the arm pain, or because I know when you check out what the symptoms are for men, they're saying that maybe you have chest constrictions, but how does it present differently for women?
Well, women can have those symptoms, but sometimes it can present in atypical, more vague forms. You can have belly pain, you can have back pain, and sometimes just the generalized feeling of not feeling good. You know, you can be short of breath, and that is one of the reasons why, you know, women tend to ignore these signs and symptoms and they seek medical care only when it's a little too late. So it's always important to listen to your body. If you have certain signs and symptoms you're not sure about, it reoccurs, talking to your doctor makes a huge difference because it could be a silent sign of something going on inside your heart.
You know, that's really important to know because a lot of times, let's say that you were doing some housework and maybe you think you sprained your back, and that could be a symptom. So is it that all of the symptoms have to be present in order for you to say, oh, I think I might be having a heart attack, or is it just one? That's kind of sneaky. That's how I guess women do pass away from that.
That is true. No, you don't necessarily need to have all of the symptoms. A lot of times they don't have the classical signs. There's no jaw pain, there's no arm pain. It's just recurring pain, back pain. So it doesn't necessarily need to have all of the signs and symptoms. If you're not sure what's going on, if it's something that reoccurs, it's always good to go get evaluated.
Now, for women, I know, and men too, but we're under a lot of stress. Is this one of the triggers for maybe some heart issues, specifically maybe even AFib? Talk about that some.
Right. You know, we live in such, you know, it's a different world we live in. We're all under a lot of stress. And coming back to the same point that we think of this as a man's problem or a man's disease, but women, because of the different roles they play in our lives, mothers, working women, wives, women are at just as much of a risk. And the risks for heart disease, whether it's having a blockage in the heart or having something like an arrhythmia or AFib, women are at the same amount of risk, if not higher risk. And it's important to analyze it, and especially in today's world where you have so many smart options. You have the ability to check your heartbeat, you have the ability to check your blood sugar. It's important to look at the risk factors and identify them.
So outside of if maybe heart conditions run within your family, is it smart then to maybe get like I have an Oura ring that I wear, and some folks, they push the little Kardia thing. Is it good to keep up on your heart health like that? Because normally when you go to the hospital, you're not thinking, hi, I'm going to need a cardiologist. When is it time to come and see somebody like you?
I think it's never too late. We always think of heart disease as something that happens in older people, but there are heart conditions that can run in family. Younger people can have it. You know, every couple of months we hear about a young athlete on the sports field. So it's never too late to get checked out. It doesn't necessarily mean you have a disease. You could have a condition which can be very manageable. So it's always a good idea to go see your regular doctor, talk to them. It's always a good idea to get blood work done, know your cholesterol numbers, know your blood sugar numbers, write them down, because you never know when you might need it, but it is never too late to get evaluated.
I want to circle back around in the time that we have left to talk about AFib. What are some of the symptoms of that? Is it just that you feel lightheaded or you can't catch your breath? And once again, that could maybe seem like it's something else that's affecting you.
Absolutely. You know, just like heart diseases, like heart attacks, women don't necessarily need to have the classical signs and symptoms. The usual signs are palpitations, being short of breath, but women can have other symptoms. They can have fluttering their chest, anxiety, is usually misdiagnosed. They might have AFib, and again, they tend to delay their care. So those are the usual signs. But if you don't feel good, go see your doctor.
Absolutely, and then again, it's very important to catch it early because things can be treatable.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming in, Dr. Bradshaw, this morning. You were awesome. For more information, you can see how to contact with their website and their office, but we will also post a link on our website at fox2detroit.com. Excellent, hopefully life-saving information. Thank you for coming in, and we'll be right back.